Go.
All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm Tim, and back in the control room back there is Beth. Beth, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, I think. Except finding out that we have another early morning event tomorrow. I think I'm going to cry. Anyway,
so people that go to bed till 3 and 4 a.m.
I know,
7
right?
a.m. events.
What are these people thinking? Scheduling breakfast events. Come on.
Yep.
Anyway, so we just want to take a few minutes to give you some of the background here and introduce some of our topics going forward. And the bottom line is Beth is one of the most interesting people in the world. And so that we have her here for the purpose of spawning some really fascinating conversation. And, Beth takes us places where most of us haven't gone before. Right, Beth?
I try.
You do not disappoint. So what we have here is the Sierra Vista Veterans Synergy Center. And what that is a place that we've designed for veteran service organizations to have office space, meeting space, computer tech, internet donated to them so that they can focus all their resources on veterans. And by bringing everyone under the same roof, we generate efficiencies and magnify effects because everyone's together. So, for example, a veteran may come for one service and then find out that another service that they need is offered here, or are able to refer one of their battle buddies or family members to come take advantage of another service that they need. And really, it's about that in terms of day-to-day operations, but it's also about a broader community taking care of itself. The veterans and their families and care providers of Sierra Vista and Cochise County coming together in order to take care of each other. Because the reality is, a lot of people think that it's the VA's job to take care of veterans. And that's not the truth. It ain't happening, and that's not the fault of anyone who works at the VA or anything like that. There are a lot of well-intentioned people who work there and do a lot of good, but the limits to government agency capacity are real, and that's where the community has to pick up. And with a number like 22 veterans a day committing suicide in the United States, we need, as a community, to stand up and take responsibility for that number in our own neighborhood, and we need other communities around the country to stand up and take responsibility for their neighborhoods as well. So we're starting it here and starting a broader conversation, and that's part of why we set up this YouTube channel and set up this set here. We had some soldiers down from Fort Huachuca who designed the set for us. There's a reason for everything here. Whether you can figure it out or not is another question. Some intrigue, right? Right, Beth?
Correct.
Some crazy stuff going on. But anyway, we are launching a conversation because we want to hear veterans' perspectives. We want to hear family members' perspectives. We want to hear our care providers' perspectives on all the things that are both good and bad about the veteran experience, about what happens to people when they raise their right hand and put on a uniform and take the oath and go off and defend our freedoms. Because the ones who love you the most are the ones who are willing to fight for you. And our veterans have proven their love for us. And it's time that we turn that back around and show our love for them by fighting for them every day. And it is a fight. Make no mistake that the things that our veterans see and do, the things that their family members are exposed to, require a lifelong fight after they come back from it. And that's why we're here. No one's alone.
What is clear is that what we have going on isn't working. That
Yeah.
number 22 isn't changing. The VA keeps sending them to therapy and traditional routes of what they think is healing, and I think that maybe there's a different way through that struggle for them, and it's not all going to look like everyone's experience is not going to look the same.
No. We like to say that the VA is a doctor's office that does home loans. Think about that for a minute. Would you choose to go to a doctor's office that also does home loans? Or would you get a home loan from your doctor's office? Probably not. It's a little weird. We don't quite understand why it's all like that, but it doesn't really matter. The point is, we have to work together ourselves in order to take care of our veterans. And the VA is there to help. And they help in some important ways. But they're not the end-all, be-all answer. the community approach is the way to go. And like you said, Beth, a lot of people think they can buy their way to reducing 22 a day, or that they can lecture their way to reducing 22 a day, and they can therapy their way to reducing 22 a day. But that's not the truth. The truth is it's about relationships. It's about communities working together. It's about you drawing the line where you live and saying, no veteran suicides this year on my street.
It is about communication from other veterans that are capable, or spouses or children that are capable of talking about the things that no one wants to talk about. It's about sharing the very thing that worked for you that might not be traditional, but it worked, and it's kept you from, being dead, honestly.
Yeah, right. Destroying yourself and others.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, exactly. There's a common experience that we all have, but the commonality in recovering from that experience is that everyone has their own needs and their own ways, and it's impossible to tell what's going to register for one person in need or in crisis from the next. And that's why it takes constant interaction, constant involvement, and, like Beth is saying, a constant touchstone of caring voices that make the reality that our veterans are not alone, and they're not isolated.
Someone needs to be doing it, and that's a real gap in the problem, is that everyone thinks that somebody else is out there extending themselves, opening themselves up, showing their scars, showing their problems. That's not really the case. That's not the case.
No, it's an ugly business sometimes. Sometimes it's very raw, and sometimes it's very real. And it's one thing to say, hey, I support the troops, or I support the vets, or twice a year on Memorial Day and Veterans Day to carry a flag or wear it on your lapel. It's another thing to get involved.
It's another thing to sit beside a homeless veteran that hasn't changed their clothes in 2 weeks and has soiled themselves, and sit there for 6 hours. And a similar situation with someone that is actively suicidal, sitting for hours and hours and hours with them. That is personal investment. That is human connection. That's the thing that is going to solve the 22 a day problem. The
Absolutely.
people that connect.
Get involved.
Right.
And that's something that we as Americans in our society and culture today are rather insulated from. With social media, you're not really involved. You're connected, but you're insulated. Honestly,
right.
Who anymore knows their neighbors that live on the street next to them by name, or even, when's their birthday or what their kids' names or whatever? Sometimes you see it, but it's generally pretty rare because everyone is so focused on the day-to-day grind and the distractions from that day-to-day grind. We get that. Game of Thrones, hey, it's on. It's awesome. It's a good distraction from the brutality of day-to-day. But unfortunately, it also distracts us from where the need is, where the people are, and the connections necessary to do something about it.
Well, I talked earlier about my theory about pets and how, as a country, we kind of, as a pet lover, I'm not stepping on, I'm not judging people that love the pets, but we also don't show that same kind of reaction when we see veterans dying under a bridge and no one knows their name. Until after they're dead, and it hits our Facebook feed, and then we reshare it, and that's our experience. But if a dog shows up that needs a surgery for, cut on its ear, and there will be a response like
an outpouring.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's a little disproportionate in my opinion.
Well, we're all for outpourings of support for animals.
Of course.
After Bob Barker spent the better part of 40 years reminding us to have our pets spayed and neutered on his TV show every day, of course it becomes a part of our national consciousness.
Yes.
But at the same time, we have to keep it in perspective, the difference between animals in need and humans in need. And believe me, I'm that guy who, when I think I hit something with my car and I find out it was just a person, I'm relieved because I was afraid that maybe I hit an animal. But, running over a person, fine, they probably deserve it.
I love some dogs. I have 3. I get it. But
right, we get it. But the bottom line is it takes a level of involvement, a level of intimacy, a level of interaction that is uncommon. And that's why the suicides are common and the engagement isn't. And we want to change that. And we want to listen to our veterans and their families and the broader community to find out how we can do that better. And so this microphone, this set, this entire project is designed to listen to veterans. And this microphone is open to veterans to come in and talk about their passions, talk about their thoughts, for their kids to come in and talk about being a military brat, or their caregivers to come in and talk about the special challenges there, or even just things that they're passionate about. For example, Beth is very passionate about Pokemon. So if you want
Negative.
Pokemon, okay, maybe not Pokemon, but has some other very interesting passions in the realm of, well, there's the treasure hunting.
Treasure hunter.
Yes.
It's not too common.
And we're all excited about the Forest Fen treasure because, hey, that is a veteran story, and a veteran who has dramatically changed the public awareness about the outdoors and getting off the couch and out from behind the Netflix and out to the mountains and so forth.
He's been a great example to everyone. He's been shot down. He's had some extraordinary experiences, and he has found outlets to help himself through that. And it's a great veteran story, actually. And
yeah,
I think there's an example there in being outside, moving your body, just in that alone, to recovery for some veterans.
Absolutely. And that's the kind of stuff we're going to talk about here. Just the way that our interests meld in with the rest of our lives and help us to cope and help us to overcome, and hopefully learn new methods of doing that and help others to learn new methods of doing that. Personally, I think the Forest Fen treasure hunt is an awesome way to refocus some of those traumas and some of those energies. But just remember, you heard it here first. Go to Wyoming. Search Wyoming.
Hard.
Cody, Wyoming. Go there and just don't leave until you've searched within a 60-mile radius. You'll be good. But anyway, you may hear us talk about that from time to time, right, Beth?
Occasionally.
Every day.
We kind of both ended up here as treasure hunters, though, and we did not.
What are the odds?
Right.
Well, yeah, and there's lots of commonalities. You grew up with some folks that I served with in the military.
Right.
And even though the Callies completely hate my guts now, I love them, and they're great. But yeah, it's like small world, right?
Right. Very small world.
Very much so. Anyway, we just want to invite you to join the conversation. Subscribe, comment, share your thoughts. If you want to get on camera here and share in a more personal way, we'd love to have you. We're also going to have call-in shows so that people can share their ideas from afar. But we are really excited to have this conversation, and we want it to be meaningful to everyone involved, centered around listening. And that's our ultimate objective, is to learn from our elders, learn from our peers, and to be listening agents of positive action.
Man, that sounds fancy. Listening agents of positive action.
LAPA. We're LAPAs. Anyway, that just came to my brain right then. I'm not sure that really works. But anyway, so thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the content, and we'll try to be here often, right, Beth?
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. She's like the most interesting person in this town.
Correct.
Can't wait. Yeah, see? Anyway, I think that's all we got. Anything else from you, Beth?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, thanks again, and we'll see you later at one of our other videos. Check it out.
See you.
Bye.